What's up, Quad Cortex users? This is Steve Sterlacci, and the day is almost here for the new 2.0 update that should be coming any day now. So let's start this off the right way. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited about in the 2.0 update. I know personally I'm excited about this new hybrid mode. I believe that there's going to be some other cool features like assigning the volume knob and other things like that. A lot of things that I've complained about in previous videos are getting fixed in this update, and I really hope that they do the job. It's getting closer and closer to being a better gigging situation. It's still not my favorite gigging modeler yet, but I do believe it can get there in the future. So let's get into what we're talking about today. As far as this update, they sent out a little bit of a warning that is kind of freaking some people out, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about it and give you something that you can expect, I guess, or what exactly the update means, because there's a lot of questions and there's a couple of good answers and threads that I want to share with you all. So what exactly am I talking about? Let's talk about this note that went out from Neural today. Oh, I also want to add, I don't work for Neural. I have no association with Neural. I am just a regular old guy that loves guitar and loves guitar equipment. So everything that I say here is according to what I've read and what I've heard in the forums. And yeah, I'm no official spokesperson for Neural. I just wanted to shed some light on what's happening in case you don't read the forums or in case you don't get the email updates. So this is advanced warning, accessing Cortex Cloud using Core OS 2.0. So obviously the Cortex app and the Quad Cortex are really intertwined and dependent on one another. And what this warning is basically if you're not somebody that there's a lot of people out there, and just for context, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, context here, a lot of people don't update their units right away. They want to make sure that it's solid before they take it out on gigs. So for example, when a new update comes out for a floorboard like this, when this is your all-in-one unit and you have no backups, you don't want to gamble on a new firmware having bugs or having issues that you don't want to be the first one to find out that there's an issue with the firmware. So many people will not update their units until a couple of bug fixes come out. Whether there's bugs or not, they just don't want to take the chance. So for those that do take the chance, you're going to have full access to everything. And for those that don't, here's what we have. So the release of Core OS 2.0 and Cortex Mobile 1.5 is imminent. And with the incorporation of several core functionality modifications, it will not be possible to utilize Cortex Cloud on Quad Cortex using an earlier version of Core OS once it's released. The capability to create and restore backups will remain functional for users using older versions. So basically, once the update comes out, you'll only be able to create and restore an update on your firmware that you currently have. You won't be able to access the app and transfer things back and forth until you update to the latest firmware. And that's not to say that you're going to lose anything. A lot of people are worried about losing their presets because it's worded a little bit funny, where it almost seems like you're going to lose everything if you don't update. That's not the case here. It's just saying that you can't upload or download presets or captures from the cloud if you're on the previous firmwares, because I think the app is going to be at one level where it's not like a hardware unit where you can't version the app. So there can't be an older version of the app that's just as functional as the current version. So everyone's going to have the current version of the app. And so pretty much the older version of the app isn't going to work with the new features. So what they're recommending you do is get all of your stuff in order that you want. If you want to download anything from the cloud or upload anything to the cloud, do it now before the update so that all of your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted when you are ready to update. Or if you're not planning on updating, you have everything that you need to get you through the next few weeks or whatever it is until you're ready to do your update. So they say, as a precautionary measure, it is recommended to download or upload any presets or captures from Cortex Cloud as soon as possible prior to the official release of Core OS 2. Additionally, all users are advised to upgrade to Cortex Mobile 1.5 once it's available, as previous versions will not be compatible with the new changes, specifically the removal of the starring system, which will prevent the ability to download items on versions earlier than 1.5. So basically, the app and the firmware they need to be together. The app firmware and the hardware firmware need to be able to work back and forth with one another, since they don't allow things to be exported and imported like on a hard drive or anything. I guess it's one of the downsides of having this, this all-in-one ecosystem where everything is done over a cloud server instead of just being able to dump things on and off through files like every other modeler does. So some other questions that I was seeing in the forum, this person, Lightborn, they asked, if I star something on the website and choose not to download it until after the update, does that mean that you'll never be able to download that preset once you update? And that's not going to happen. So I guess in this new 2.0 firmware, there's going to be a downloads folder instead of a star. So they're getting rid of that starring system where currently you have to star it on the app, then you have to go into the Cortex, find your starred items, then you have to download them. I believe with the new app, you're just going to be able to find something, click it, and it's going to go into a downloads folder on your Cortex, and you'll be able to hit download right from there. It's going to be a much simpler process. So anything that you have starred and not download, or anything you have starred on your app, is going to then be in your downloads folder in the new firmware. Oh, and here's another clarification. Again, this person, Lightborn X. So in effect, users who choose to remain on pre-2.0 firmware will be unable to use the cloud functionality except for making backups and restoring from backup, and must update to 2.0 if they want to resume using the cloud. And Dan, who is the leader and running the forum, the Quad Cortex forum, he says, yep, you nailed it. So basically, you're not going to be able to use the Cortex cloud for anything other than making backups to update to 2.0. And again, I'll just clarify and reiterate that one point about what it means, what this warning means, because there's a little bit of a scary wording how it is. All they're saying is that when you update, or when the app gets updated, the previous versions won't function. So you won't be able to import, export from your Quad Cortex in the Cortex mobile app. That will not be able to happen once the app is updated. So the app will be on the new firmware, and your unit will still be on the old firmware, and those won't be able to talk to one another. The only thing you'll be able to do is make your backup and restore from backup so that you can upgrade to the latest firmware. And just one more time to reiterate this point, anything that you have starred, so when you star something, it's something that you potentially want to use or download, it's not going to be gone. It's going to be transferred into your downloads folder, which is going to be a new thing in the 2.0 update. All right, so again, let me know in the comments what you're most excited about with this update. And if you have any questions, ask them below. Hopefully I shed a little bit of light on this situation, and hopefully it's a little bit more clear before you download 2.0 what you need to do and how you need to do it if you're not going to download it, or if you are going to download it. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.